Hello, everybody. I'm another establishment of Paige's Tabloid here. I'm actually in my uniform today. It's a busy week this week at the Naval Academy, but I just wanted to point out that this video or anything that I do here is not endorsed by the Academy at all. But I just found out that they pushed my schedule back by 1 hour. And it's Thursday, so I was like, oh, okay, good. I can go work in my studio for a minute. So I just thought I would come here first and take care of this. This week at the Naval Academy, it is graduation week. So we celebrate our seniors and their impending graduation, which is going to be today, all week long. So there is ceremonies. There are, each school does their own awards. All the parents get to go meet the superintendent and go through the superintendent's home. There's a graduation ball. The Blue Angels show up several times this week. And there's just different events going on all over the academy to help entertain all the thousands and thousands of visitors. It's really it's a lot of fun. It's my favorite week, actually, to live in Annapolis because it's fun. Annapolis is definitely a tourist town. And it's just fun having everyone here to celebrate something. Oops, let me turn this off. Always happens. Let me just, sorry, that's so weird. Anyways, it's my husband. He always calls me, I always tease him at the most inopportune time. Like he knows I'm on tour and then will like try to call me in the middle of tour. But so funny. It's like he knows. So I'm just been really busy with that, and it's been several weeks since I've been able to get into my studio and really play around, which is fun because everyone goes through their ups and downs and when it takes time in the studio, but I really miss it. But I just got to get through this month and taking care of all of our guests that come and visit us, and then I'll be able to jump full on back in here. So all this week and probably next week, I'm just going to share older work of mine that I still have around. So I just put one up yesterday. Hopefully I'll get one up today. So, it's actually that piece right here behind me. I really love this piece. I love the saying on this piece too. I have, it's like one of my micro niches that I love. It's not a niche. I think we call it a micro obsession, like things I really love. And I really love like quotes and sayings that are short, pithy, and, carry a big meaning. So I'm glad that I got this one. I thought, wouldn't it be cool to like do a series where you take one quote and do it across a whole bunch of things? I was actually thinking about that. I need to write that down. I need to write that down in my trusty journal that you all know I love. Anyways, okay, so today what I wanted to come here and talk about is actually using our supplies and not thinking of them as being precious. I talked to somebody, it wasn't even that recently, several months ago, who actually had canvases that were purchased for her as a gift, and she has had them for well over a year and was too afraid to use them because she didn't want to mess them up. Man, talk about a way to ruin everything that's great about art is thinking that things are precious and having a fear of using them. If you are an acrylic user like I am, and I know that this person was too, that it's a ridiculous notion. I understand maybe if you're watercolor, you either get it right or get it wrong. And I don't know enough about oil to know if that's true, but for some reason I think you can. You can paint over layers of oil. Oil just takes weeks to months to actually fully cure. And I won't use it because I don't want the smell or to be exposed to those fumes. So as an acrylic user, that's never should be an excuse, because when you think of your supplies as precious, like your paint is just so precious. So, if you have to paint over something that is just a waste, then I think you've lost the joy of the process. And to me, the process is what, of course, the dogs are going to go crazy. Of course they are. The process is what makes this fun and enjoyable. And if you come from that mindset, I just can't imagine that you'll create anything that's that great. Um, it's just a terrible mindset. Which I gotta write a thing. I feel like I should address mindset way more often than what I do. So that is, and I never. Everyone talks about mindset. It seems like to be a buzzword, but like I'm fully witnessing it when it comes to art and art making. So I'm totally going to talk about that more. So anyways, when I come in here, I just know that this is all replaceable. I can buy another one of these jars for, I don't know, $25. And that $25 will provide me with more joy. I don't care if I paint over it 10 times. Actually, and I know I've said this before, I do not like my paintings when I feel like I'm done after one layer. That's the problem with these two paintings over here, is I kind of like what I did, but it's the first layer. And I feel like my paintings actually look better the more layers. And actually that's not the first layer. This is more like, this is like only the second layer. There's just more layers, but it's not, it's just not giving me the vibe that I want at all. And I'll even know that, this is totally cute. I can still see, I don't like to see any part of the canvas or the canvas texture. I'm not a lover of that. So this is totally gonna get redone. And I'm gonna add more layers to it. And if I liked it, I shouldn't have done this as like my first or second layer. I should have done other things instead and then brought this out later. So it's gonna happen. And even though some people are like, what are you doing? I love it. I'm like, it's not what I want. And the more layers you get on a piece, the bigger story it tells, and it's actually just really cool, in my opinion. So I wanted to come on here today and encourage you not to think of your stuff as precious, that everything is a process, and that you should just use up all your stuff and know that it's all replaceable. And it's not, seriously, it's not an arm and a leg. In terms of a hobby, if this is what this is for you, it's easily affordable. So many of my paper pieces too, it kind of blows me away sometimes how many layers I can get on a piece, but there's so many layers that my paper then becomes heavier. I can actually feel the difference between some of these sheets. Oh yeah, this one has quite a few layers on it, and I don't like what I did here. You know what I mean? So it's gonna get another layer. But the quality of this paper is the best quality. And the reason I think that's great is because I can paint on this probably 4 or 5 times and it will still have the great quality paper at minimum. So that is where I'm going with that today, my friends. One other thing I wanted to address quickly is inspiration and how I find inspiration. Before I start painting, I spent a lot of time scrolling Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, checking out all my favorite artists. And what I've noticed is I could easily get sucked into that for hours at a time and then never actually get up and do my own stuff. So I have started the general rule that when I know that it's a painting day, that of course I'm going to look at, all my favorite stuff. But the second I feel inspired, the second I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this concept or I love this idea, that I stop the scroll and I get up and I go ahead and start creating. So that is a good way to not always feel inspiration and get caught up just in the inspiration part. I know that's a big issue with many of us, that we could just spend hours looking at other people's work and not actually creating our own work. So the goal here is, yes, we should all, we're all going to be consumers, but at some point we got to stop consuming and start becoming the creators. And that is all I want to leave with you today. But I hope you guys have all had a great week. And I thank you for being here, and I'll see you again next Friday.